Hi everybody, and welcome to our Fireside 3-card tarot reading for the week of June 11th to 16th. Yeah, that's 7 days. 11th to 16th, Sunday through Saturday. This week we are working with one of my favorite decks, but I think I say that every week because I love all of my card decks. So we've got the Akashic Tarot by Sharon Ann Klingler, illustrated by Sandra Ann Taylor, the Akashic Tarot. So one thing that I like to point out to people is that just the deck itself that I am drawn to for a certain reading or for a certain podcast or what have you tells us a lot about the nature of the messages and what's going on with the people who are going to be hearing those messages. So the fact that we've got the Akashic Tarot, at least in terms of how this deck is useful for me and the people connected to me, when we're dealing with this deck, we're dealing with our life chart for this life that we're living now, and sometimes some past lives. So the messages that are going to come up, at least in part, are going to involve where we are on our blueprint, our map for this life, and often what we're dealing with, again, would be plot points on our current life chart that have some bearing or some connection or some synchronicity with some past lives, maybe even with some future lives. So isn't that cool? So with each card, so this week, I don't think many of you, if any, are going to be drawn to more than one card, because with each card, there's going to be a certain lesson that I give you. So in other words, the messages with each card are going to involve a certain life lesson that concern this life and at least two others. How cool is that? If any of you, when you're watching this video, if you are really moved to dig further into this concept of past and future lives, feel free to reach out to me. Find me on Facebook. You can message me right through my website, heatherlcoleman.com, because I do past life readings. So I'm just putting that out there, that if you're getting this reading and you're feeling like, okay, I think I need to dig deeper on this, please reach out to me because I can help you with that. My website is heatherlcoleman.com. And for the month of June, I'm hosting a spring into summer sale. Two exciting aspects to this this month. We have a limited time only. We have a 2-question email reading for $15. You can access that right through my website. Also, all individual readings and energy work sessions are 10% off the normal price for the whole month of June. So it's a great time to jump on that if you've been considering that. So without any further ado, let's take a look at the cards for this week. I'm actually going to shuffle through them, interestingly enough. It's amazing how each reading presents in its own way, and so does each card deck. And here is card number 1. So I'm going to encourage you to feel into your own energy to see, are you drawn to card number 1? And it's only going to be one this week for everybody, and you'll know which one's for you. Card number 1, card number 2, card number 2, and card number 3. Card number 3. And I just want to mention, again, something that's fascinating about this deck. I have most of my decks do not present with reversals when I read from them. This is one that does. And I don't even know how it happens. And when I say that, I was that kid that never could have their food touching on their dinner plate. Are you still that way? Are you like that too? Or maybe you're the opposite. Chances are, if you were the kind of kid that couldn't let your food touch, you also colored in the lines. So did I. And I'm that way with my cards. My tarot decks are organized by suit, except for this one. They're all mixed up. And what's fascinating is, in most of my card decks, they all face the same way, upright, because I'll know if there's a reversal meaning, except for this one. I don't know how it happens because I typically put them back into the deck right side up, but some of them just end up reversed. Cool. And so those sorts of things happen when your heart is open. We'll talk about this. And you're working with spirit and you are in tune. those sorts of things happening that you don't know how they happen with your divination tools, that's a sign that you are connected, my friends. Woo! So just real quickly, since the message about heart came up, this is labradorite. Oftentimes people are curious when I wear a piece of jewelry. My jewelry is always selected for an energetic match to what we're doing in the videos. This is labradorite. It's great for grounding and self-love. And this particular piece spoke to me when I got this necklace for myself because it does look pretty green for the heart chakra, but a lot of labradorite will look black or gray, or there's actually sort of a multicolor aspect to it. So anyway, let's get into card number 1. So if you're drawn to card number 1, we've got the Four of Roses reversed. It's also called Views of the Ego, and just for purposes of us being able to really see the imagery on this card, I'm going to hold it like this, but just know that it is reversed. And the Four of Roses is also equated with the Four of Cups in traditional tarot. This particular deck, I find it fascinating because some of the cards we could say are a direct correlation to traditional tarot in terms of when we say, oh, I drew this card, what would the meaning be in traditional tarot? Oh, okay, that's a point of reference for us. That is true of some of these cards, but not all. So 2 of the cards we have today, that could certainly be said that the traditional tarot meaning would hold true. We're going to have one card that is a little different from the traditional tarot meaning. Now, this is one of our cards that does equate. So those of you that are knowledgeable about tarot, when I say to you, we've got the Four of Water reversed, right away, some of you are going to be going, oh yeah, okay. With this kind of card, what I find is that the reversal meaning is what we want, because when we've got the Four of Water, let's say it was upright, which it's not, but let's say it was, we would be looking at a message that perhaps we are in our own way, not unlike the Eight of Swords, although a little different. When we look at the Four of Water upright, what this could be telling us is maybe we're feeling stagnant or bored, but we are the one that needs to get us out of our self-imposed rut or our own stagnancy. So what I really like about this card being reversed is the reversal meaning is generally saying, hey, you are coming out of a rut. Maybe you're bouncing back from a hard time or a loss or some confusion. Maybe that's clearing for you. So I feel that if you're going to draw the Four of Water, or if it's going to come up for you in a reading, you want it to be reversed. So congratulations, card number 1, people. Good news for you. I'm going to pull a couple of statements from the guidebook on this under the reversal meaning. And when I use guidebooks in readings, I just go where the angels pull me. So in other words, I'm not reading you all of this in this. I'm going to read you what jumps out that is for you this week. With the reversal meaning, the message that I have for you is take a moment to sense the truth within yourself. Imagine yourself looking into a mirror, or for some of you, look into an actual mirror and look at the divine light within yourself. Look at the divine light within yourself. Sense your truth. Sense your truth and let this part of you be reflected in everything you think and do. Every time you look into an actual mirror, see your divine self there. And the way that you're going to do this is by softening your eyes. So card number 1, people, you know, when you look at this, you've got this guy looking in the mirror and he looks a little defensive. Like a lot of people don't like 3-way mirrors, right? So Spirit is calling on you to look into an actual mirror, soften your eyes, and see your divine self looking back. And it's probably a little easier to imagine that with this upside down, isn't it? Okay, so card number 2. We're going to have a bit of a difference from traditional tarot in this particular card. We've got our 7 of Keys upright. Now, in this deck of cards, I'm even going to brush up on the suit of keys just to make sure we are equating this to where we would be in traditional tarot. So the suit of keys would be dealing with You're gonna have to look. I want to say earth or thoughts or swords, but it's been a long time. And you know what's interesting? If the angels wanted me to look this up ahead of time, they would have told me. There are reasons that they didn't want me to. There are reasons that the angels wanted to see this. They wanted to see me create this video for you where you can see my process of how I learn with spirit. And so if there's something I don't know, I will look it up in the guidebook, or I'll ask people that are familiar with all this. Sometimes I'll do a Google search. In this case, I couldn't quite remember what the suit of keys is about. So we're just going to flip open to our guidebook, Suits of the Minor Arcana. And right here it says the suit of keys. Actually, I was right. It would compare to the suit of earth in tarot. It represents the values, wealth, success, worth, abundance, career, authority, confidence, and achievement. Keys are emblematic of locking away and keeping safe what you treasure. So, like a safe deposit box, we might say. So, a lot of times with this particular deck, the suit of keys may come up to help you find the key to what your financial goals are and your material goals. Like maybe you want a boat one day, the keys to making that happen, or to your dream home, something like that. So so again, the suit of keys would be earth here, but what I think is really cool is that the seven of earth in traditional tarot, those of you that know tarot, the seven of earth is often a message to tell you you're in a pause right now, the seeds are well planted. It's a little different with this one. The seeds being well planted is absolutely still a message that will hold true, but you'll notice in traditional tarot, it's extremely rare, if ever, to see on the seven of earth a picture of someone ready to go cliff diving or bungee jumping. You don't usually see that. You'll usually see people sort of pausing to go inward or gardening. Like in another tarot deck that I love, you've got a lovely young woman planting seeds and cultivating flowers, gardening. So the seeds being well planted would be a message that would carry over for this card from traditional tarot. But our seven of keys is often the card that has some night energy in it. Those of you that know tarot, you know that when we draw a knight, which we don't have the knights the same way in this deck that we do in others, the night energy can often be a message about helping you decide whether it's time to pause and prepare with your shield or to go charging. This card is about preparing to take a leap. Aha! So the seeds being well planted. So that's a lot of what this has for us this week. You know, you've noticed this person is standing tall, feeling a sense of achievement. It might be a little hard to see on the camera. I can't quite tell, but he's got this long rope. So he is ready to make that, I almost said descent, but this says the ascent. So just know that if you are getting ready to take a big leap, you are not going down, folks. You are ascending. You are going up. So let's take a look at what our guidebook has to say about the seven of keys upright. And it's interesting because they brought me to the reversal meaning. So here's what this card is not about for you, card number 2, people. The loss of a position, sudden departure from a job, a fall from grace in your reputation. This is not about that. If that happened, it already happened, guys. This is not a heads up that you have to worry about that again. Ever, 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 card number 2, people. Woohoo! So here's your meaning for today and the future. If you're drawn to card number 2, the seven of keys, because this card is so upright, it's like standing tall, just like that guy. Woo! A man stands atop a mountain with a rope draped over his shoulder. Metal stakes known as Pitons, a word I've never heard before. If you know what it means, share in a comment. The pitons remain in the steep cliff face that he has climbed, evidence of the difficult path of his ascent. So good for him and good for you. That's what this card is telling you. The rope and pitons, hopefully I'm saying that right, Pitons, may have been the physical keys necessary for his achievement, but so were his hard work and resolve. Card number 2, people, give yourself so much more credit for your hard work and resolve. This card shows that with great effort and determination, you can apply yourself to your goals for assured success. Success is assured. Woo! There could be a promotion coming. Woo! Or in advance, when you'll see me getting all whooping, it's to highlight these words. Card number 2, people. Let's say that again. There could be a promotion or an advance monetarily to a much higher position coming. Understand, however, that it is not just luck. Give yourself so much credit. So much credit, card number 2, people. The angels want me to say that again. Give yourself so much credit. Because this is not, your success, folks, is not just luck or external circumstances. Sure, that stuff helps. But your own hard work and application that bring the achievement you seek. Keep your efforts strong. Instead of being passed by, you will climb to the heights. So when you're ready to go bungee jumping, you ain't going down, folks. You're going up. So, good for you. I am like really excited for you. Super excited. If any of you are hearing that and saying, is this going to work? That is past life crap coming up. Past. Okay. All right. So card number 3, we're also going to have a bit of a more traditional meaning connected to tarot and a little bit of a difference. The 2 of Scrolls, or called 2 Worlds. Now, again, we're going to just double check here. I believe scrolls would be swords, but because it's been a while since I've really done a deep dive into this deck, actually. Scrolls is the mind and communication, which is what I was thinking, mind or intellect. So the suit of scrolls would be the mind. Now, the 2 of Swords in traditional tarot would be someone who's having trouble making a decision. I do feel for our card number 3 people this week that that's beginning to clear for you. Maybe you've had some confusion happening in your life or some indecision. This card would be an indication that that's going to clear for you this week, folks. This week specifically. So we're in like the second, like right in the middle of June here. So this woman here has worked hard at her spinning for the coins that are gathered on the table. When you receive this card, there is a conflict in your life between what the outer world seems to require of you and how your own spirit directs you. You may, in fact, have had a number of past lives where you wanted to focus on your spiritual growth and therefore joined a monastery or something like that, and then missing the wonders that the secular world could offer, such as love, family, financial success. You may have chosen that secular world exclusively for the next incarnation. And this may not have offered the spiritual focus that you also sought. So card number 3, people, I do sense this. I see, if you're drawn to card number 3, doesn't matter who you are, whether we know each other or not, this message is for you, folks. You've had a variety of past lives where you may have had lives that were focused primarily on spiritual pursuits, lives that were focused primarily on specific tangible pursuits, like working hard, not having a lot of time for spiritual. Good news. This life is the balanced life. You are now going to experience, you are now experiencing a polarity where you feel like the 2 are at odds, but you don't have to choose between them. You can make time for your spiritual growth and to attend to the practical aspects of your life. Card number 3, people. So that's what the angels are saying for you this week, is that You do not have to choose between both your spiritual disciplines and your practical. Keep in mind that you can and you are doing both, and that will become easier and easier for you as the time goes by in the coming weeks, days, months, and years for you. And so those are our messages for the week of June 11th to 17th, I think, no, 16th, 11th to 16th. I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I encourage you to visit my website if you've never been. It's heatherlcoleman.com, and subscribe to this channel so you never miss an update or a learn video. Namaste.